Hey everyone, I hope you guys had a great spring break. I know we didn't do much here, but it was nice to take a week off. So this week we're going to start working on numbers and operations. You'll get packets on Friday for all of your SDI work that you do for me. And then these are just some videos to go with it. So since you guys don't have any packets right now, I'm just going to go over some PowerPoints and examples about what numbers are and operations for you. So we're going to start with addition of whole numbers. So when you add two numbers together, what you get is called the sum. So the sum is the answer in an addition problem. The two numbers that you add together, those are called add-ins. Plus sign indicates that everything is addition. And then numbers can be added in any order. It means that addition is commutative. So it doesn't matter the order, the answer is still going to be the same. So for properties of addition, we have the commutative property, which, like I said, numbers can be added in any order. So the example is 2 plus 4 plus 3. It's the same thing as 3 plus 4 plus 2. So when we add from left to right. So over here we have 2 plus 4, which is 6, plus 3, which will equal 9. And on this side we have 3 plus 4, which is 7, plus 2, which also equals 9. The other property of addition is the associative property. And it says that numbers can be grouped and the answer will still be the same. So we know from order of operations, when we have parentheses, we're going to do whatever's in the parentheses first. So over here we have 2 plus 4, which is 6, and then we add that to 3, which is 9. Over here we have 4 plus 3, which is 7, plus 2, which is also 9. So when you're adding whole numbers, which are numbers that don't have decimal points, the numbers should be lined up by place value. So if we remember from place value, we always start over here, and this is the ones place, the tens place, and the hundreds place. When we're adding, we add the top number to the bottom number, so we have 3 plus 9, because we add based on place value, and 3 plus 9 is 12. So down here, when we have 2 units and 1 place value, so like 12 would be 2 numbers. In the ones place, you put the number in the ones place down and you carry the tens. So like they did here, we have the 1 in the tens place, which would be 10 ones, and the 2 in the ones place, which is 2. So 10 plus 2 is 12. That's how you would get that number when you carry. So when we keep adding from right to left. So 3 plus 9 is 12. We put down the 2. We carry the 1. 6 plus 1 is 7. Plus the 1 that we carried is 8. So we put an 8 in that column. 7 plus 6 is 13. And since we don't have another number over here, we can put both numbers down. So our answer to 763 plus 619 is 1,382. Okay. Now for subtraction. So subtraction is the difference between two quantities. Numbers would be quantities in this place. And in subtraction, your answer is called the difference. It's the inverse operation of addition. Inverse means opposite. And we know that it's subtraction because it has a minus sign. Okay, so when you're subtracting whole numbers, such as 917 minus 523, we do the same thing we do in addition, and we line the digits based on place value. So we have the 7 in the ones place, the 1 in the tens place, the 9 in the hundreds place. So we're going to line up the 3 in the ones place, the 2 in the tens place, and the 5 in the hundreds place. And we work right to left. So the first thing we're going to do is 7 minus 3, and 7 minus 3 is 4. So we have 7 minus 3 is 4. We're going to move over a column, and we have 1 minus 2. If we have 1, we can't subtract 2 from it because 2 is a bigger number than 1. So we have to go next door and borrow from our friend. So the 9, we put a slash through it and make that an 8. And we come back over here and we add a 1 in front of the number we have to make it 10 more. So we went from 1 to 11. Now our problem is going to be 11 minus 2. And 11 minus 2 is 9. We move over to the next column. We don't have a 9 anymore now, we have an 8 right here. So we're going to do 8 minus 5, which is 3. So our answer to 917 minus 523 is 394. Okay. So that we talked about addition and subtraction. We're going to move on to positive and negative numbers. So, what are positive and negative numbers? A positive number is a number that's greater to 0. So, if we start at 0, every number to the right of it, going this way, is a positive number. A negative number is less than 0. So, less go to the left. You can remember that because they both start with L. So if we start at 0, everything to the left of it is a negative number. Negative numbers have this minus sign in front of them. So this would be negative 5. This number would be positive 5. Negative 2, positive 2. What are opposite numbers? So opposite numbers are the same distance from 0 in the opposite direction. For example, negative 3 and 3. Let's look. Negative 3, let's see how many spaces it is from 0. It's 1, 2, 3 spaces from 0. Positive 3 is 1, 2, also 3 spaces from 0. The distance it is from 0, regardless of the direction, is the absolute value. Absolute value is always positive because it's the distance in a given direction from 0. So this is what a number line would look like. We see we have a line down the middle of 0. because 0 is what separates positive numbers from negative numbers. A positive sign looks like a plus sign. You can remember because both of them start with a P. For positive numbers, we don't put a positive sign. We just know that if there isn't a negative sign, that it's a positive number. Our negative sign looks like the minus sign. And all numbers that are negative will have this in front of them. So, their hint they give you is if you don't see a sign in front of a number, that means it's a positive number. Okay, so when you're adding numbers with the same sign, so we have a positive 3 plus a positive 5 equals a positive 8. But this is super cluttered, so when we write it, we just write 3 plus 5 to get 8. So if there's different signs, we pretend they're the same and we subtract the smallest number and add the sign of the largest number. So, for example, we have negative 5 plus 3. So what we would do is start with the bigger number, subtract the smaller number. So we have 5 minus 3 is 2. And then we're going to take the sign from up here of the larger number. The larger number is 5. So it's going to be negative 2. So let's look at these problems. We have 3 plus negative 8. So we're going to subtract, because this is a positive 3 and this is a negative 8, the bigger number from the smaller number. So we're going to do 8 minus 3, which is 5, and we're going to take the sign of the bigger number of 8. So it's going to be negative 5. Down here, we have negative 9 and a positive 5. So because the signs are different, we're going to take 9 minus 5, which is 4, and we're going to take the sign of the larger number. So it's going to be negative 4. For this one, the signs are the same. So we have 8 plus 2, which is 10, and they're both negative, so our answer is going to be negative 10. Here we have 9 plus 9, which is 18. And both of those numbers are positive, so our answer is going to be positive 18. Negative 5 plus negative 9. 9 plus 5 is 14. And they're both negative, so our answer is negative 14. 3 plus 9, they're both positive, so our answer is going to be positive 12. We have negative 7 plus 4. So this is another one we're going to have to subtract. 7 minus 4, which is 3. We take the sign of the larger number, which is 7. So our answer is negative 3. 10 plus negative 4. Different signs, so we're going to do 10 minus 4, which is 6, and we're going to take the sign of the larger number, so our answer is going to be positive 6. Okay, so we're going to skip using the numbers on a number line, and we're going to do some examples together. Okay. we have 471 plus 240. So we're going to add our 1 and our 0 and get 1. 7 and 4, we're going to get 11. So we're going to put down the 1 from the ones place and carry the 1 in the tens place. 4 plus 2 is 6, plus 1 is 7. So our answer to 471 plus 240 is 711. Okay. Our next problem, 741 minus 739. We start in the ones place, and we have 1 minus 9. We can't subtract 9 from 1, so we're going to cross off our 4 and change it to a 3. And we're going to cross off our 1, and we're going to add a 1 in front of it. So our 1 becomes an 11. So now we have 11 minus 9. 11 minus 9 is 2. Now we have 3 minus 3, which is 0. Move over, and we have 7 minus 7, which is also 0. So our answer to 741 minus 739 is 2. Our next problem is 791 plus 744. So we start over in the ones column again, and we have 1 plus 4, which is 5. 9 plus 4 is 13, so we put down our 3, and we carry our 1. 7 plus 7 is 14, plus 1 is 15. So we put down our 5, and because we don't have another number over here, we also put down the 1. So our answer is 1,535. Our next problem is subtraction. So we're going to start on the right in our ones column, and we have 8 minus 4. 8 minus 4 is 4. We're going to move over to our tens column. 1 minus 1 is 0. We're going to move over to our hundreds column. We have 8 minus 1, which is 7. So our answer to 818 minus 114 is 704. Our next problem, we have 6 minus 7. We can't subtract 7 from 6, so we go next door. We're going to cross off our 5 and make it a 4. We're going to come back over here, cross off our 6, and we're going to add a 1 to it. So our 6 is going to become 16. Now we have 16 minus 7, which is 9. We move over to our tens column. We have 4 minus 0, which is 4. We move over. We have 3 minus 3, which is 0. So our answer to 356 minus 307 is 49. Our next problem, 897 plus 705. We start on the right at the ones column. We have 7 plus 5, which is 12. So we're going to put down the 2 because it's the number in the ones column. And we're going to carry our number in the tens column. We move over to the tens column. We have 9 plus 0, which is 0, plus 1, which is 10. So we put down the 0 from the ones column, and we carry the 1 from our tens column. Now we have 8 plus 7, which is 15, plus 1 is 16. We put down the 6 from our ones column, and we put down our 1 from our tens column because we don't have anything else to add it to. So our answer to 897 plus 705 is 1,602. Our next problem is 220 plus 832. So we start in the ones column and we have 0 plus 2, which is 2. We move over to the tens column. We have 2 plus 3, which is 5. We move over to the hundreds column. We have 8 plus 2, which is 10. So we put down our 0. And because we don't have any other numbers to add, we'll put down our 1 in front of it. So our answer to 220 plus 832 is 1,052. Our next problem is 117 plus 669. So we start in the ones column, and we have 7 plus 9, which is 16. So we put down the 6 from the ones column, and we carry the 1 from the tens column. We move over, and we have 1 plus 6, which is 7, plus 1 is 8. And we move over to the hundreds column. We have 1 plus 6, which is 7. So our answer to 117 plus 669 is 786. Okay. Our next problem, 928 plus 880. Start in the ones column. We do 8 plus 0, which is 8. We move over to the tens column. We have 2 plus 8, which is 10. We put down the 0 in the ones place, and we carry the 1 that's in the tens place. Now we have 9 plus 8, which is 17, plus 1, which is 18. So we put down the 8 from the ones place, and then the 1 from the tens place in front of it because we don't have any other numbers to add to it. So the answer to 928 plus 880 is 1,808. Our next problem, 857 minus 830. We start in the ones place. We do 7 minus 0, which is 7. We move over to the tens place. We have 5 minus 3, which is 2. We move over to the hundreds place. We have 8 minus 8, which is 0. So our answer to 857 minus 830 is 27. 847 minus 270. We start in the ones place. We do 7 minus 0, which is 7. We move over. we have 4 minus 7. Oh, but we can't subtract 7 from 4. So we go next door. We change our 8 to a 7. We change our 4 to a 14. Okay, so now we have 14 minus 7, which is 7. We move over to our hundreds place. We have 7 minus 2, which is 9. So our answer to 847 minus 270 is 977. Oh, I'm sorry. It is not. 7 minus 2 is 5. I added. I didn't subtract. So our answer to 847 minus 270 is 577. My apologies. Our next one is 827 minus 122. We have 7 minus 2, which is 5. We move over. We have 2 minus 2, which is 0. We move over again. We have 8 minus 1, which is 7. So the answer to 827 minus 122 is 705. So that is everything for this week. We'll be back again next week to work some more with operations and numbers. If you guys have any questions, you can always email me. I hope you guys have a great week.